Okay, so we got interrupted, but that was a good interruption. So the gentleman said he'd been here for 8 weeks and he's been up here every day, and he's amazed that no one else is ever up here and blah, blah. He was really happy to see another person taking advantage of the beautiful scenery and the hike. But he gave me all this information about this trail. I guess my son was mentioning this, that there's an aspen grove. And now I know that from his information, that it's in that canyon right there. And he says that you can go up the canyon, through the grove, and then loop around and come back down on this road we're on right now. So I'll do that another day when I have more time. And then, yeah, he said to go up to Donner Peak and do that road. He was telling me about, Hunter Creek, which is right, that one that's across from that plateau that I mentioned to you yesterday, which I have done a couple times, and I want to do with Taki, but I haven't done with Taki yet. So anyway, yeah, so he said Mount Rose is intense, which I'd heard that before. I haven't done Mount Rose. So he gave me some information about some hikes that I should do in this area, and I'm going to take him up on his information, use his information, and do some of those hikes. Donner Pass is one I definitely should do since I'm here. But all of them, just eventually hit what I can, get stronger and less out of breath. But yeah, that was good to chat with him. He was very excited. Oh, and let me just say this for me to remember. He said there was a place called Incandescent Peaks, I think he said. And it's out by Pyramid Lake, which is about an hour and a half from here, out towards the desert. It's a lake out there that I've been meaning to get to, haven't been to yet. But he said that you go up in the hike up there above Sparks, and you get to this place where the rocks, he said, are all like red and white and real brilliant. He says it's otherworldly. So I definitely want to do that one. I think Pyramid Lake, it is where the current Paiute tribe lives. I think it's maybe it's Shoshone too. At any rate, yeah, this grade is kicking my butt. This is steep right here. So I've always felt, and there is a campground there. I've always felt that it's my bias towards Indian res and land. It's a piece of land they've kept with a lake, and obviously it's got some pretty good geological stuff according to him. And I always felt that there will be something spiritual for me there. And I can find spirituality right here too, but some land lends itself, and some cultures that have lived on the land, they've melded with the land and have imbued it with a spirituality that we've lost. We've Christianized ourselves to a point where even we've lost Christian spirituality. So anyway, got to try the Pyramid Lake Incandescent Peaks hike. We'll see what happens on my next day off. Maybe that's a good try. Well, actually, next day off I got to get that truck in and find out what that squeaking and rattling and rolling is. A little disappointed in my mechanics. I wanted them to do a real look over on the truck, and they didn't really say they did, although he did say, oh, the brakes are good, So I'm thinking, I think yesterday my son said the brakes needed doing, but it was actually the shocks that he mentioned, and I think might be what it is. It's a metallic rattling and then screeching like metal on metal. Hope it's not rotors. But yeah, and my mechanic is all the way down to South Reno. Doesn't mean I can't get another mechanic, because I took that one on the recommendation of a work colleague, and she was satisfied, but she's got a brand new car and not much wrong with it, so I need someone to go over the truck with a fine-tooth comb and make sure, because at this point I don't feel that it's mechanically all that sound. I mean, I think it's kind of sound. My mechanic in the South Marino did say that the engine probably doesn't have much life left on it. It's 122,000, and he mentioned 130, 140,000 is probably its max. You can see the little baby down there, the little truck. See how far up we've come? That's where we started, right? To see the little truck down there beside that last house in the shade. It's no wonder I'm a little out of breath. It's like climbing up, 6 or 7 flights of stairs here. Which I need. I need the exercise. I don't need to lose weight anymore. I've lost enough. I didn't want to lose weight, but I did. And I think that might be a little bit of hormonal stuff going on more than all the exercise. I mean, yeah, getting a ton of exercise between work and all my hiking. So I am definitely getting a ton of exercise with Taki. It's even kicked in. I'm even getting more than I was on my own. But I've lost a lot of weight. I've lost, I would say roughly maybe 25 pounds, maybe a little more. And it's dropped quick. And I'm surprised too. My son thinks it's because I'm not eating meat, which I actually am eating meat. I eat those turkey pesto sandwiches quite a bit. And just had 2 burgers last night with the kids. And when I get a craving, I do eat meat. And I have skipped, I have missed meals. It gets late at night and I don't feel like cooking and I just get a snack. Hard to cook sometimes in the truck or with camping kind of situation. Hard to want to cook because it's more of a long ordeal. But not really. I mean, as long as I'm done work at eating time, but whew. Okay, I just did another 2 flights. I haven't been. I've been working evenings, working till 7:30, 8 o'clock, and by that time I don't feel like cutting up vegetables or stirring up dishes or blending dishes or making any recipes, so I get whatever's quick. But yeah, I've been consistently eating my breakfast every morning, either oatmeal or some sort of cereal, and usually a couple pieces of fruit. And then lunch, like I said, if I'm at work, I grab one of those turkey pesto sandwiches, which are really delicious. Or I was doing some box meals. They have Amy's and I can't remember the other brand, Andres or something, Italian name, Angelo's. Here we go. Amy's or Angelo's. They have some lasagnas and some pasta, tortellini pasta dishes that are quite tasty. And I've been having those for lunch. But I started getting the heartburn off the spaghetti sauce. It doesn't seem to bother me when I eat tomatoes. But something about the processed tomato sauce. And it may just be one of the brands, one of the processed kind of thing. Because I had some chickpea pasta and fresh tomatoes that I, sauteed up with some oil and garlic. And those don't seem to give me heartburn. But at any rate, tomatoes seem to be causing a little heartburn in the processed things. Look at that little truck way down there. That's amazing. We are way up. So anyway, basically my diet's been pretty good, so I don't understand all the weight loss. I was having some other symptoms of thyroid that I'd had before. And I realized that the things that I did before to eliminate those symptoms, I hadn't been doing, which is there's a tea that I take. Hawthorn tea is one of the things. It's actually a mixture of hawthorn, tulsi with holy basil, which is another name for it. And then either some stevia or low sugar. And that really helps my symptoms also. I take D, zinc, a bunch of vitamins. And finally, for the thyroid, I take frankincense oil and I rub that all right on my thyroid. And I learned that one when I had a nodule on my thyroid several years ago. And we were getting ready to do an ultrasound, and I did some research online and looked up, essential oils that are good for hormones, and frankincense was recommended. And they recommended you rub it right on your neck area where the thyroid is, and put a couple drops on your tongue. And so I have all that stuff, and I just hadn't been using it. And so I started using it again recently, taking care of myself right after the eclipse. A friend of mine, Patty, that I've mentioned before, has a daughter who does astrology, and Patty does astrology as well. She's the mother. And her daughter had done a detailed astrology for the different sun signs on the eclipse and the week after the eclipse, which is what we're into now. And Patty indicated that I should also look at my moon sign, and I think she said a rising sign. I don't quite understand all that stuff, but so I did, and I found that reading those along with my sun sign, which is Taurus, it really, and my moon is Libra, which I always thought was Cancer. Somebody told me it was Cancer at one point, but it was somebody that did my horoscope that I didn't have my time. This time I had my time, and Patty redid it for me with the date and time of birth, and said it's Libra, and then Aquarius, which I guess is the rising sign. So I read all three, and I was really interested. It mentioned health problems, which I was starting to have with the thyroid. And it mentioned changes at work, which there are definitely changes going on at work. My attitude toward work has drastically changed because I seem to be working a lot and doing things for others, like taking shifts. And, when they give me odd shifts, I just do them. I don't complain. Even though I don't like work until 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, I don't complain about it. And I'm feeling used, which is one of the things that Patty's daughter's detailed horoscope had mentioned. I think on the rising sign. So all this stuff was keying in for me. So I made some changes. I made sure I got back on my mixture of vitamins, my tea, which I haven't had now in a day or two, so I got to do that again. My tea, and most importantly, the frankincense, which I saw immediate change, immediate improvement on how I was feeling there. So we do have some yellow up here still. You can see mixed with the brown, which is dying. We are way up here now. That was quite a little elevation gain. Bunch of broken glass. Guys on bikes, guys in all-terrain vehicles. All come and party up here. It's a shame, like the guy said, it's a shame there's not more hikers, more people that just want to enjoy the mountain. You get the guys with access with the motorized vehicles that'll come up, but not so much the foot traffic. So I'm trying to figure out where that trail is going back down. I have to check my time. Wow, I can't believe how far up we are. I think, yeah. So you can see the bare area to the right of the little road there, and the little yellow tree, and that's the subdivision we came out of, right there. And that is way down there now. We've managed to gain quite a bit of elevation. I don't know, 1,000 feet maybe? I'm not good at guesstimating elevation, but I kind of think that might be how far up we are. I love the outcrops of rock, the volcanic eruptions that you can see. And look at Taki. Taki's tired. Taki's tired too. Now I don't feel so bad that I'm out of breath because she seems to be out of breath too. I think that's the subdivision that we came out of. It might be that one. That one's even lower, but I don't think it's that one. I think it's that first one I pointed to. But I could be wrong because that looks like Labresis. The trail right there is Labresis. Or not the trail, the road. So yeah, I think I am wrong. I think that's not the subdivision. I think it's this one that's peeking over here, but it probably extends up. That's probably a low point right there. Yeah. So you can see what I was talking about. And they just drop these houses on these hills that should just stay hills. They just stay. You can see like 1, 2, 3 sections of that subdivision. If they were gone, that would be kind of cool hills. And right where those cars are, right about where that truck is getting to right now, I've walked up there, and that hill and the one that it connects to is right above on the road from where my son lives. And you can see that first flat roof. That's the Walmart. Ugly, ugly. So that's the development, and it keeps encroaching, keeps going and going and going. Is it possible to get up this high? Yeah, if somebody buys the land and wants to. Although, at some point, this becomes protected land, Peavine, like that is over there. That's the Mount Rose Wilderness. And right about where that plateau is where I was telling you Hunter Creek Trail is. That is all protected land. That's for recreation and wildlife, not for people to build homes. But, they'll push right up to it. Yeah, Taki's wanting him to be in the shade. You want to go further up, Tak? You want to go? Want to go further up? We'll try to get up to that next point and then turn around. Let's see if I can see this canyon. Oh, it's probably over. Yeah, it's got to be over that hill. So yeah, then getting up to that yellow bush there is going to be our turnaround. Not really sure what time it is. I've got to check it and turn around. Look at that steep canyon. That's something. And then you got the more granite-looking rocks. You get the all volcanic outcroppings on that one, and then more granite-looking boulders on this one. The other thing I love, the differences in the terrain here. Minute, maybe, inconsequential. Look at all these boulders. Inconsequential to some, but I just love it. I'm seeing all the changes, all the differences. We gonna make it up, Tak? You're gonna have to pull me up. We gonna make it to that yellow bush? And yeah. I don't know if this is considered bedrock or what. Ooh, that definitely looks like granite. So any other day she'd be pulling me. No. Now she wants to knock me over. Go. There we go. Yeah, any other day she'd be pulling me. Now she's pulling. Not enough though. Having to do all this on my own. Yeah, this is interesting. I can't tell if it's rock. Ooh. I think it is rock. Or yeah, this is definitely rock. But you see, that definitely looks like granite to me. So, interesting ledge. She is not pulling me at all. Usually she pulls me, and that's how I get up hills. But she's just lollygagging, making me do all the work myself. Oh, and it's work. You lollygagging, Taki. At least she's not trying to push me over again. Oof. This might be a little scary going back down if she decides to pull down. Well, we're at the yellow bush. This was my turnaround point. And you can see up here how green This must be a waterway. It just flows down this hill and all this stuff, and it must capture somewhat some of the rain. We had that really good spring, really wet spring, and the hills were all green. Oh yeah. So that is the subdivision, not that one. It's that one that we came up out of. You can see the high school way down there. I think that's the high school. Yeah, it is. It's where my grandkids go. Oh. But yeah, you can see, especially right here, the development on the hills. That one on the flat plateau is just bizarre. And this is the one that made me sad. This little pocket development tucked in here up on this hill that should have just been left wild. Right out, coming out of this steep canyon, you know, all sorts of wildlife. And that one too, you know, it's like fingers of development trickling up the hills in the opposite direction than it should be. You should go compact yourself down in the valley. Don't trickle up the hills. Yeah. So yeah, this is definitely greener than it would be this time of year if it had been a normal spring. All right, Taki's still pulling upwards, and I don't really think we've been out here an hour yet, so I'm gonna let her go a little further. I'm gonna shut this off now though, because it's time to hit the high point and then come back down and go clean up and get to work. So thanks for coming along.